To the top secret formula to guaranteed success. Now, before you fly off the handle and say this sounds like nonsense or snake oil or some weird seminar that I'm going to do where I have an upsell at the end for a $10,000 program, none of that is true. I'm actually going to share with you some tried and true knowledge and wisdom. That's not mine, by the way. I hope you all understand that most, if not all, of the things that I share with you come from people that are way smarter than me. But this is a formula that you can use, apply to your life right now, tonight, today, whenever you may be watching, that's going to exponentially explode the amount of success you are able to achieve. Interestingly enough, a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight is going to be rooted in mindset. As always, for those of you who are veterans or newcomers to the BryantChambers movement, all questions are welcome, whether it's related to the topic or not. I do this show for all of you. Let's adjust our camera here on YouTube so that I'm actually in the shot. Let's do the same here on Facebook. Get my lighting squared away so you guys can actually see my pretty face and all that stuff. And tonight's discussion was actually inspired by a conversation that I had with my mentor a couple weeks ago. And we were just going through this and understanding, like I said, this formula is compiled from many other people that I read, many other people that I listen to, like the mentors that I have, many other people who've lived thousands of years before we did. All right, so there's a lot of wisdom going on here. I don't know why my YouTube feed is showing that there's two of these broadcasting, but we are on YouTube here. We're on Facebook up here, and I'm very glad to have all of you here. Now, before we get into the secret formula of success, I want to share a couple of things with you that you need to be aware of. My editor and I right now are in the process of creating our own Facebook watch channel. All right? This, for those of you on Facebook, this is going to be somewhat new to you, but for those of you watching here on YouTube, this channel that I'm creating is actually where the daily vlog is going to go, the Daily Bravo. Those of you who followed that, the 113 of you that actually cared about my daily vlog over here on YouTube, we're going to move that to Facebook. I think Facebook gives me a much better opportunity to reach people. It gives me an opportunity to get the videos in front of more people in a much easier way than YouTube is ever going to allow me. Plus, given the subject matter, I know that I can connect with other groups, other advocacy organizations that are on Facebook that will help me promote the content and really benefit from the content that I'm creating, more so than YouTube will, which is focused a bit more on sheer entertainment. The daily vlog is also going to change its focus from just a slice of life. That'll definitely be a part of it. But it's going to, the theme of it is going to be a military mind in a civilian world. All right, so I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of my experiences as a former combat soldier and how I've used that knowledge to help me succeed here in what we call the real world, or TV land, as one of my friends from the service calls it. I'm going to pop out the chat here in YouTube just to make sure I can chat with you guys properly. Excellent. I see Ursula's here. Hello, Ursula. It's very good to have you. So yeah, the daily vlog is going to be moving to Facebook. Congratulations, Facebook. My editor right now is doing the research to properly set up our Facebook Watch channel. And it's really going to focus on the YouTube series that'll probably be most related to it is the Hardcore Life Hacks, a combat leader's experiences that you can apply to civilian life. But it's really telling my story from the perspective of someone who often feels out of place in this world. It's why I work so hard to do what I do, is to help educate people and to help introduce people to different types of knowledge and information that can help you be more well-rounded in your thinking and get us out of this era where we're so prejudiced. And I don't mean racism, I mean prejudice. Racism is a derivative of prejudice, but we're so prejudiced, we're so closed-minded, and we're very much so easily offended. I mean, you can't imagine some of the people that I run into in my life who are so easily offended by things that are, for the most part, innocuous. Okay? So that's going to be kind of like, for those of you that don't have the experience, when you come out of a combat or a military environment, at least in my experience, when I became a civilian, it was like coming into the Twilight Zone. It's like, you people don't make any sense to us. The things you worry about, the things you get upset about, the things that, you come from a country where there's 10-year-olds selling their sisters in prostitution to help themselves eat. You come home with a different perspective of the way the world works and a different perspective on the things you should worry about, some of which we're going to talk about tonight in the formula that's going to guarantee you the success. And by the way, I do mean guarantee. I don't mean cheesy marketing jargon or clickbait. I mean what I said when I wrote that title. And a lot of what you need to understand when it comes to the definition of success, a lot of that is your mindset. Many of you may not realize that you have a large amount of success already, especially those of you who watch my show who live in the United States. You're already got a leg up on the rest of the world in ways that you may not be able to believe. Okay? You look at a person like me, I have not achieved every dream that I have yet. I'm still working very hard. That's why I'm broadcasting at 11 o'clock at night, at my time. I haven't achieved everything, but when you look at my success compared to the rest of the world, it's pretty amazing. I'm in the top 8% of income earners on the planet. That ain't too shabby for a dude that makes boring psychology. Well, I wouldn't call my content boring. I usually say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. But that ain't doing too bad, okay? I'm not Warren Buffett, but I'm certainly not digging out of trash cans in India just to feed myself. Okay, living in a caste system that will never let me propel. I live in a capitalistic system that we often complain about, but with big rewards, there's big risks, and there's opportunities for there to be big challenges. Okay, also going to share with you the contents of this box, which I am very, very excited about what's going on in here. What's in this box is going to be very enticing and exciting for those of you, especially those of you who fall into probably two categories. If you're a YouTuber, this book is going to be legit. Okay, so I've given it away already. It's a book, but I'll reveal what the book is later in the show. And if you're a business owner who's looking to market what you're doing, this is a book from a person who I listened to earlier in the week. I heard him give a 3-minute talk and I bought his book before he was finished talking. All right, 3 minutes. Think about that. If you had the ability to talk for 3 minutes and people just buy from you, that is how powerful what this person said was to me. And I really took a lot away from a person who is in the business of sales. I sell products, I sell services. In fact, the reason why I'm late to the call tonight is because I have been working on proposals for clients, on audits for clients' websites and social media. I've been working on reports for clients that I'm already serving, right? Showing them that this is everything we did in November. We did an awesome job with ads, trying to track it to sales. That's what I've been doing for the last several hours. And I took a break to eat, believe it or not. Okay, so the contents of this book is going to be very interesting. So we talked about the Facebook Watch channel, so just stay tuned for that. I'll have an announcement. I really encourage every single one of you, and let me make sure it's actually on my YouTube page before I say this, because I don't want to say it and then make it complicated for all of you. Let's just take a look here real quick. If YouTube will so kindly load. What's up to the people on Facebook? Leave me a comment. Let me know who's here. It doesn't let me see you on the app like YouTube does. So let me know who's here. Let's chat. Let's chop it up. So let me go to my page and make sure. No, actually, yes, it is. So if you're on YouTube watching this, Facebook, I'll tell you how to do it in a second. If you're on YouTube watching this, I highly recommend, if you are not already subscribed, not to the YouTube channel, that's awesome. You should definitely be subscribed to that. But subscribe to my mailing list. For a couple of reasons. One, my YouTube community tab broke when YouTube sent it to me, so I'm not able to type stuff there yet. Hopefully YouTube's going to get that resolved for me here in the very near future. But being on my mailing list, if you click the little monkey in the top right-hand corner of my YouTube page, that is my mail client, okay? You go there, it'll just tell you fill out your name and your email address, and you do it. I use that email address to communicate with all of you, to let you know what's happening with the movement, things that I'm doing, things that I may need your help on, things that I'm working to help you with, talking about books that I'm reading or things that I'm experiencing in life that I think will be really helpful for all of you. So definitely get on there. But get on it so that you can stay up to date with all the things we're doing with the podcast. Are you following, or did you download my podcast on iTunes or Google Play Store? Some of you have said you haven't seen it in Google Play Store. Not sure why that's the case. I've been able to search it and find it. I don't have a good answer for those of you that are having that challenge. It's also on an app called Anchor, which I really, really like because it makes the iTunes nightmare. Like, I can't believe iTunes has been around for like freaking 15 years and it's still a pain to use, but it takes away some of that pain. So podcast, Facebook Watch channel is where the new Daily Bravo daily vlog is going to go. All right, we're going to combine the Daily Bravo with the Ask BC series. So I really encourage you, and I would ask all of you, number one, to follow me on Twitter. If you have Twitter, if you don't, I'll work you through a different solution here. And when you want to ask me a question, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can tweet it to me with hashtag AskBC. What that allows me to do is organize the posts by that hashtag and go through them very quickly on the show. It makes it easy. You can send them to me on Facebook. Doesn't give me the organizational power that Twitter does. You can also email them to me. I know a lot of you, when you send me messages, you have something very long because you want to give me context so I can understand the situation. By the way, those of you that send me really, really long emails, I appreciate it. Okay? Now, I know that kind of probably shocked a few of you. You thought I was going to say don't do it. No. The more context you can send me about your challenge, the better I'm going to be able to answer the question. I would prefer you write me 2 pages. I even had one person send me a situation where they wrote it in a Word document, saved it as a 3-page PDF, and sent it to me. I appreciate that because the more context I have about your situation, the more comprehensive answer I can give you, right? If you just say, hey, I'm struggling, can you help? Well, no, because I don't know what you're struggling with. I can encourage you. I can say, stay strong, but I can't really help you if I don't understand the problem. So long questions are fine. The best place to do those is on Facebook and not YouTube. I would prefer if you don't send me the very long questions on YouTube. Long comments are welcome. I read them. I do read pretty much every comment. I respond to a lot of them, even if it's just hitting the little heart button, because I don't have anything to add, but I do read them all. But Facebook and email are the best places to ask me long questions. If you just have a quick, hey, I'm trying to decide between a Lamborghini and a Ferrari, which one should I pick? You can do that on Twitter, okay? So a couple of things to keep in mind. Facebook, for the mailing list, it's just the sign up button. As soon as you get to my page, there's a button that says sign up. That'll take you to the mailing list so you can keep up with what we're doing here. Let's see. Who all is signed in? Nobody's commented from Facebook yet, but I see that you're all here. Thank you for being here. We have Ursula. We have Anna Anderson. Says she's late. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Hello. Ella Wilson says, hello, B and everyone. Hello. Andrew Tyler says, just read your reply to my email. Happy to be able to hop on the stream. Happy to have you, Andrew. Let's see. Baby Zone says, hello, Bryant. Hello, Baby Zone. Shane says, hey, Bryant. Yo. Abiola says, hi, Bryant. What's up, folks? It's good to see you all. Samantha Chong is back. Hey there. What's up, Samantha? Good to have you back. Now, what other administrative notes do I have for all of you? We talked about the Facebook Watch channel, which my editor is working on right now, working to get that set up. I think that show is really, between that and my podcast, those are the 2 things that I'm actually the most excited about in terms of producing content. Now, don't get me wrong, YouTube. I enjoy producing things that you all like. I just have been in the game long enough to know that my mission is to reach the most amount of people that I can reach with messages that change lives and help people take command of their lives. You know, I imagine most of you, if not all of you, unless you were born to a billionaire or a hyper millionaire, which I was not. So if that's you, congratulations. All of you understand what it's like to live and feel like you're on somebody else's leash. The purpose of this channel is to get the leash from around your neck and give you control over what you're doing in your life, whether that's career, whether that is relationships, whether that's a marriage, whether that's just being happy in life. That's why we do what we do, and we do it by disrupting education. The things that I'm sharing with you is the stuff that you should have learned by the time you were in 6th grade. And I'm not saying that what I'm teaching is parochial. What I'm saying is we really don't teach our young folks at the capacity that they're able to learn, right? I had this conversation with a friend of mine recently who heard me criticizing the school system, and I always have to caveat that with, I'm not criticizing teachers. I love teachers. My wife is a teacher. I have taught in many situations in my life. I volunteered at schools. I worked in a school as a substitute kindergarten teacher. Okay, I get it. The system is what I am attacking, and not the people who are keeping it going. I get that change is hard. But so instead of attacking the system and criticizing it and tearing it down, I'm just going to build a better system. Not alone. Not alone out here. There's a lot of other people out here who teach or who coach or whatever label you want to put on it. But I was telling my friend that, you learned the state bird when you were in school, and you learned what the capital of Vermont was. You did not learn what the time value of money is. You should have learned that in 5th grade math. In fact, you could probably learn time value of money in 2nd or 3rd grade, but you don't. I had another friend said he had to get a master's degree to learn the time value of money. And I said, that's a travesty. Why do you have to pay a school hundreds of thousands of dollars and probably go in debt to learn the time value of money? Now, granted, when I went to college, when I first got to college, the internet kind of existed. All right? It was there, but it isn't what it is today. All right? I've been playing in this internet space a very long time. So the things that I'm sharing with you are designed to get the leash from around your neck that life, your job, your circumstances, your family, whatever has put there, and to give you the courage to keep it off and actually choose your own path. All right, that's the way I believe God created us to live. He did not create us to be slaves, all right, to a system, to a person, or to any circumstance. I believe He created us for prosperity and glory. Right? So that's the way I believe. And prosperity is different for everybody. I'm not talking about everyone has to be a billionaire or anything like that. If you want to be a billionaire, great. I'd like to be one day. Not because I want to be rich necessarily. That's fine. I think, you can only buy so many houses and so many cars. I know what I can do with that much money. I know how many more people I can reach and how many other systems I can disrupt. Right? Probably don't want to disrupt too many systems, because most of the guys that disrupt systems end up either getting hung on crosses or shot. So we'll do our best. Samantha says, Facebook Watch channel is a good move. I follow multiple shows there. I'm sure it will be the next TV. I think it's going to be the next TV too, along with Snapchat. If Snapchat does not get destroyed by Facebook eventually. But thank you, Samantha. I'm very much looking forward to getting that going. Anyway, so you get the purpose. You understand why we're here, why we have these discussions. It's just to equip you and to arm you with the weapons necessary to take command of your life. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we've got a secret reveal tonight that's going to be very powerful. Frankly, it's going to be powerful for everybody. But for those of you who follow me who are YouTubers or like a personal brand who's trying to grow on social media, I've had a lot of success just this last year on social media, crossing 20,000 followers on YouTube total, and then Facebook is starting to explode. I've got a post right now that's one of my I've only been doing Facebook actively for a couple of months, and I've already got a post that's about to hit 1 million views, and that's without spending any money on ads. People think that organic is dead. It's not. You just have to know how to make things viral, something that I teach very heavily in our Social Media Ninja Academy. If you're in my academy, this book is going to become mandatory reading. I'm going to put it on the curriculum. I'm going to have Steven and Raven add it to our library, because I think, and I haven't even read it yet. That's the funny thing. I just heard the author talk for 3 minutes, and I know what's in this book is going to kill. All right? So I wish I had that type of power where I could just say something for 3 minutes and be like, yo, I'm selling a thing, go buy it. And he never even sold it. He just talked about what was in the book. And listening to him talk, I was like, I have to have this book. And I almost spent an extra $15 to get it the same day or same night. But I was like, I'm not going to have time to read. That's how bad I wanted it. Like, I want my products to be that viral. Like, we have to have his products right now. We have to buy them and get them at our house so we can fall asleep to reading them. Okay, so let's see who else is tuned in since I last checked in. I know Samantha's here. Thank you, Samantha, for saying hello. Kristen is here. Or I'm sorry, Kimberly Kristen is here and says hello. Duan says, hey, man, what's good? Life's good, man. What's up with you? Ella Wilson says, I'm excited about the mystery book. I am too. Even though it's not a mystery to me, I'm still excited about it. Ursula says, have you sent any recent emails? I signed up last week and have not seen anything. Thank you. No, I have not. I do not like to spam my audience. You know, if you go through some of these marketing courses, and I experimented with this and it never really did anything. Like they'll tell you, you set up your email and then you write like 50 different emails that send automatically over time to tell your brand story and sell a bunch of products. And I'm like, it's not why I'm putting a list together, just to sell things to people. So I have not. I like to keep the amount of emails I send to a minimum. During Black Friday, I sent a lot of messages to my marketing audience, but it was because my products were 50 to 99% off, and I just wanted them to know. A lot of people unsubscribed with me. It's like I'm not necessarily trying to sell it. I'm just trying to let all of you know who are interested, like you can get this $200 program for $1. Which, by the way, if you're tracking my website, I haven't raised the prices back up. Don't tell anybody. Let's see. But no, Ursula, I have not sent an email. I'm actually strategically putting together some content that I'm going to be sending out over the next couple of weeks. Melanie says, if I have kids, I definitely want to homeschool if I can. My wife and I are actually looking into that. Challenge with us is we have 4 of them. So that is a handful. Ray says, a little late as well, but hey, how's everyone doing? So everyone that's just tuning in, I haven't shared any of the secret formula yet. I wanted to get some administrative notes out of the way, so don't even worry about it. At some point tonight, some of you have been asking me, I don't want to take time to talk about it right this second, but I'll just give one more administrative plug. Some of you have been emailing me and asking me or Facebooking me and saying, hey, do you provide one-on-one coaching? I want you to coach me. And the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, I've got registration open for my one-on-one coaching program over on my website right now. We'll talk about links and all that jazz at a later time. But the simple answer to the question is yes, I do provide that type of coaching. And if you're interested, I think at last we checked, I think we had like 10 slots open out of 15. Or something along those lines. So you still got time to get in before January 7th, I think is when the next session. We're finishing session number 1 tomorrow, actually. And for those of you who have already signed up, you have access not only to the lessons and the practical exercises, but you get to watch the videos that I've shot with the existing group. So you get to see what's coming. All right, let's see. Pamela Delgado says, I want to know what book I'm buying next. Stay tuned. Dewan says, all good, fam. Word. Dwayne. Now, I've been calling you Dewan. It's not Dwayne, is it? Don't let me mess up your name. Correct me if I screw it up. Ursula says, I have people coming in the morning to look at buying my house. Sweet. I have interrupted getting the house ready because I know your content is worth my time and gives me a boost. My little Bieber. That's see, like, guys, this is what I play the game for. Okay? It's not the money. It's not I do want to farm, but that's not why I'm in the game. Those types of comments literally are what I live off of as a creator and as a person who educates. That's, if someone tells you they're stopping their life to come listen to you, that means the world to me, man. I don't take that. Like, I'm grateful to God that people see value in what I do enough to say something like that to me. So you guys you really don't understand the small percentage of you that send me thank you notes and send me, hey man, love your stuff. I read every bit of it. I try to respond to every one of them, and I am more grateful for it than you could probably imagine. Let's see. Mammy Burger says, cool face. What's up, Mammy? Excellent. You know, I forgot to put on my military Washington Nationals hat. I almost said Washington Wizards, man. Messing up tonight. So, let's get into the formula, and then we'll talk about the secret reveal, the unboxing, if you will. All right? So, the formula, and if you looked at the title, I gave you a hint. It's an acronym. This formula for guaranteed success. Now, I am not saying, when I say guaranteed success, I am not saying that if you use this formula, you are guaranteed to be a billionaire or a millionaire or even 100,000aire, okay? Success is different for every person. People define it differently, and you have to take into account your natural abilities, the abilities that you can develop, and your willingness to employ the system. So the degree to which you will achieve success, it's still dependent upon you. Like, you're not going to just get a calculator out, do this formula, and all of a sudden success is going to show up at your door. You're going to sweat and bleed to get the success you want, if it's a lot of success. I was joking with a friend of mine today and saying, sometimes I wish I was the guy that was just content to get up and go to work every day and then be on a softball team and could pay his bills and live somewhat not terribly uncomfortable. I'm not that guy. Like, I am ambitious, not for personal gain like a politician. I'm ambitious for, I need to see the world improve. I have to continue my father's legacy of changing the world. Like, that's how I live. Sometimes I wish I wasn't that guy, because when you're that guy, I can't disclose some of the stuff that I get sent to me in emails and on Facebook messages with people whose lives have been ripped apart. And like, I have cried over some of the stuff people have sent me because it's so hard to read. All right, so understand, I am playing this game for the betterment of mankind at a global scale. Now, we're not there today, and it's not a delusion of grandeur. It's something that I plan to work the rest of my life doing. I've been putting in 18-hour work days lately, working to get things off the ground and to make things work for my family and for you all. Okay, so this system is going to be, the success you're going to achieve is going to be contingent upon how far you are willing to take this system. So don't read the title of this as some gimmicky marketing, this is guaranteed success. All you got to do is take this pill and you'll have six-pack abs. That's not what I mean. But let's get into it. So the formula is the acronym TCS. Let's get into what those things are. Let's start with the T. The T is trust. Okay, trust whom? Trust what? Well, that could be situational. Are we talking about trust at a micro, very tactical level? Or are we talking about trust at a macro, strategic level? For example, if I am to go into a firefight in a war or in a battle, I have to trust that the men and or women that are on my team are going to do everything in their power to make sure we succeed and we stay alive. They have to trust that I am going to do the same. Now, in my experience in combat, I was a leader in combat, so I was in charge of units of men. And so I have to trust that my guys are going to do what they've been trained to do and what they're ordered to do and what we need to do to win. They have to trust that I'm going to do everything in our team's best interest to help them win, to help them survive and fight. Without trust, you have nothing. Okay? You have to trust. Some of you that are having relationship issues, now, not some of the heavy stuff that some of you have sent me. What I mean is those of you who are lost or looking for someone. Part of it is you're not willing to open up and trust. Matter of fact, my wife and I just had a conversation about this a number of weeks ago, about like we hadn't fully given our trust to one another. I've been married almost 15 years. It's a process. Right? It's a process of developing willingness. Like, we weren't all the way there. We needed to work towards building greater trust, right? So that we can have some of the happiness. So that's kind of at the micro level. I trust my wife. I trust my fellow soldiers. I trust, people in traffic not to try to kill me with their driving. The macro level, for me, trust comes down to trusting God. Okay? And how does that map out? So for me, that's trusting God the Father, right? That's trusting Jesus Christ, who is basically the God-man who came and made a sacrifice such that I could be reconnected to the power source of God, and trusting in what we call the Holy Spirit, which is just God's manifested presence on earth. Okay? So, but what am I actually trusting when I say that? Well, I'm trusting a couple of things. One, that God has my best interest at heart. But most importantly, if you wanted to point to a particular like proverb or scripture, it's the part where it says God works all things together for the good of those that trust him, those that love him. Okay? So what does that mean? Because a lot of people get that wrong. God's working everything together for my good. It's not God takes a bad situation and makes it good. Okay? That's not what it's saying. My father dying wasn't in and of itself a good thing. My 1-year-old needing a crazy, huge surgery was not a good thing. Those are things that aren't so great. But I trust that in the grand scheme of my existence, God is going to use those experiences to shape me into the person who deserves the dreams that I have and can help shape and make life better for the people around me. Hey, Mama, what's up?
Okay.
You coming to the show?
No,
It's my mother-in-law.
I'm just coming to get something.
Oh, okay. It's my mother-in-law, y'all. Say hi. So, I am trusting that God is working everything together, all the things, the good and the bad, for the overall good. You know, I'm trusting that at the end of my story, I win, no matter what happens. Okay? So, I'm trusting that my dad dying in some way, shape, or form is going to propel me to be a better, stronger man. Maybe not in the moment because I'm sad, right? I was thinking about my dad the other day, and I was working and almost started crying thinking about something he said to me before I left home as an adult. Okay? But that inspires me that I got to work a little bit harder. Because by the time my dad was my age, he was killing it in ways that, you know, you could argue whether or not I've been there. Even though he always hyped me up. He's like, dude, your combat experience was crazier than mine. Like, dude, you were in Vietnam. How's my combat experience worse than yours? You kidding me? Like, he always was really encouraging that way. But, you know, my son needing surgery, it was terrifying. There's nothing good about going scared to a hospital. But coming on the other side of it, my son almost having this miraculous recovery where he is 3 hours removed from major eye surgery where they're cutting into his eyes, and he's up and playing. Hey, Dad. Right? That gives me strength. And I made it through that pain. Remember in the book, The Obstacle is the Way, I've been setting up my fireplace. I don't know if you guys can see beyond the mess that is my office here. You see, I'm setting up the fireplace. See that picture right there? Facebook, you can't see this, don't worry. That's actually a picture of me in combat that I took. It's hard to see with the lighting in here, but that's our armored vehicles there with the sunset coming up in the desert, right? So, but the book I'm pointing to there is The Obstacle is the Way. The challenge that I'm going through is building the mental and the emotional toughness that I need if I want to change the world. Like I said, I get emails from people saying that they're on the verge of suicide. How do I handle that? If I'm weak and falling apart, I can't help that person. And in some ways, I'm not qualified to help that person. I direct them to the proper authorities that can help them. But I can also give an encouraging word. All right, if I'm self-absorbed and focused only on me and being selfish and sad because I didn't get my way, or I had to drive my hoopty today because my other car broke down, the nice car that you guys may have seen me do. You saw me driving in the hoopty, then you saw the nice car, then I was back in the hoopty today. I didn't care. In fact, I laughed when I got in the hoopty today because it was so hard to get into such a small car when I'm a large guy. Right? So, trust is the T. Now, you know, maybe your definition of God or the source that you trust is different than mine. I'm not so much worried about that. I'm not here to preach at you or convert you to my belief system. Okay? You're going to believe what you want to believe. But I'm going to tell you, regardless, you may be an atheist who's all about Darwinism. That still takes faith and trust, my friends. You know, I am a scientist. I've studied evolution and all these different things. And there is some merit to the things that are in those tenets, whether you're a Bible-believing person or not. But it still takes faith, right? Like if you've read The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, there's some stuff in there that's hard to swallow. Like, I don't know, Rich. That's a stretch. But it doesn't matter. It still comes down to trust. Samantha says, what branch? I was Army for 4 years. Hoo-ah, so was I. Army all the way. And thank you for your service, Samantha. That's awesome. So, trust is the T. You're getting nowhere without it. You're not going to build relationships without trust. And so many of you are like, but I've been hurt. Welcome to Earth. I've been hurt by the woman who I love to death upstairs, and I've hurt her. That comes with the territory of being human and being in a loving relationship. Okay, now I'm not saying you open up your heart and your soul to people who trample you. That's not what I mean by trust. I mean trusting someone who is worthy of your trust and who has proven over time that they're worthy of your trust. Steven, what's up, brother? My editor's here, y'all. Say hello. And Steven, how on God's earth have I not made you a moderator on our channel? Like, how are you not a moderator on the channel when you have access to edit it? That doesn't make any sense, but you know, YouTube. Anyway, trust. Let's go into the C. Okay? The C in the top secret formula to guaranteed success is clean. Clean. Clean what? House. All right? So we said trust God, or fill in the blank with whatever it is you trust. For me, it's God. Trust God, clean house. Okay? A business that does not take inventory goes out of business. So if you're not cleaning house regularly, if you are not doing self-assessments and being honest with yourself about where you are in your life and why you're actually not getting the things you want, by the way, it's your fault. It's not the system. It's not the man. It's not your education. It's not your boss is a jackass. It's you. And the minute you take ownership for your life, you will not command your life without taking that level of ownership. You know, if you read Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership, 5 minutes into that book, I was like, yep. Now, granted, he and I are both former military, so we were raised in an environment that believes in taking ownership and taking responsibility for what is in our span of control. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have circumstances. I'm not saying that your boss isn't a jackass if he is, okay? What I'm saying is that's not what's holding you back. What's holding you back are the decisions that you are making. And so you need to regularly clean house. Look and see, are there any fears welled up in your spirit, in your soul, that you're allowing to control your behavior? Thus, you are making short-sighted, short-term behaviors hoping to get long-term gains. It's never going to happen. Decisions made in fear never pan out to success. Do you have resentments trapped up in your soul, things that you're bitter about? I've literally talked to people in my life and been baffled by. A girl told me one time, yeah, I haven't talked to my sister in 6 years. I don't like her. And I'm like, what? You know, this is coming from the guy who was raised by a father who said your family are the closest friends you will ever have. You do everything you have to do to protect and take care of this family. You know, I told you the story of me being broke because I didn't know how to manage my money when I was 22 years old in the Army. And my brother had to wire me $600 just to pay my rent. He never asked for that money back, by the way. I've never paid him back for that. Right? But I'm talking to a girl that won't even talk to her sister. That didn't compute to me. But the point there is you've got to take inventory of what you are doing. You're clean up your side of the tracks. You can't clean up what people who have hurt you have done to you. You can't clean up everyone else's mess. You can only work on yourself. And like I said a moment ago, a business that doesn't take inventory goes out of business. A human that doesn't examine their own life doesn't get what they want out of that life. You will not command your life until you take responsibility. You know, I believe it was Socrates, I think it was Socrates, that said, the unexamined life is not worth living. So, examine yourself. Part of the reason why I do so much discussion on Myers-Briggs tests and hexacode tests, and I've talked briefly about the Enneagram test, which we will get into in more detail over on YouTube and eventually on Facebook. You know, I've talked about the DISC test, the skills finder. There's 50 million different tests you could probably take. Take them all. I have been tempted to join Match.com just to take their personality. Not that I want to date anybody. It's funny, I said that to my wife. I was like, I'm about to join Match. She's like, what? I said, not to date. They have a personality test there that mixes psychology with biology, which is intriguing to me because biology is something you can actually measure. Like, I can measure testosterone levels in my body. I can measure cortisol levels and dopamine levels. Like, I like that. that somehow my biology is also affecting my, like, I guarantee you I'm very high in testosterone and very low in estrogen. So, I'd like to take that test at some point. My fear is that if I get on Match, it's going to start matching me to people. I'm like, and eventually, like, that'll come out. The married guy that's doing all this coaching's on Match, dating all these chicks. Like, no, he's not. He's trying to take a personality test because he's curious about his own existence, right? But the point there is that's part of taking the inventory. It's, I like that book recommendation, Dino. I'm going to look that up for sure. So Dino over on Facebook recommended a book, pardon my French, called Unfuck Yourself. Sorry, parents. I try to keep this as PG as I can, but I had to read the quote. So cover your kids' ears. If it's not measured, it's not managed. So the cleaning house, part of that is taking your personal inventory, right? Looking at who you are as a person. The 5 pillars of self-awareness that I do, that's the root of why I did that, is to help you understand at the core of who you are. But then once you understand who you are, then it's about examining your character defects and where have you allowed fear and hurts and resentments to fester and to keeping you. Remember, the first tier was trust. If you haven't cleaned house, you can't properly trust God or whoever your higher power is that gets you through life, right? So without cleaning house, you can't properly trust, which means now the chain is broken. And all this stuff, it flows together. It totally flows together, right? And so we've got the T, trust. For me, it's trust God, right? For me, it's trust my family, trust my loved ones. C, clean house. Take inventory. Be brutally honest with yourself about your character defects and flaws. Work on the things you can fix. Double down like 80-20. 80% on the stuff you're really good at. Spend 20% cleaning up your flaws. Look, I am not an overly organized human being. But me spending 7 hours a day trying to be better organized, it's not happening. Like, I'm not getting, at my age, I'm not getting much better at it. Like, I should work on it enough to stay organized enough to exist and do my business and do it well. But I'm never going to be the anal person that's organizing my books alphabetically. That ain't happening, right? I may organize my video games alphabetically, though. Slightly anal. That said, let's take some comments before we get into the last letter. Can any of you guess what the last letter is? So it's trust God, clean house. Can you guess what the S is in the formula? Let's check out the comments. Anna says, dang it, I'm working on cleaning up, figuratively and literally. Definitely have a forgiveness problem. I'm praying on it. Excellent. So, quick encouragement on forgiveness for everybody, okay? Forgiveness doesn't mean you're not allowed to feel a certain way because of something that was done to you, okay? Forgiveness doesn't mean that you just lay down and let this person take advantage of you, okay? You still have to set boundaries. You still have to make it clear that this thing that you did was heinous and you shouldn't do it again. Forgiveness is just absolving them of the guilt. It's letting them off the hook, right? And the thing we don't understand when we want to keep people on the hook, guess what? We're keeping us on the hook. So I'm encouraged to hear you praying about it, but what I want to see is you actually taking action. Because God's already given you if you're praying, God is already giving you the willingness to do what he's commanded, which is to forgive 70 times 7, right? And if that's the case, the reason why we don't forgive is because we're hurt. And we don't want this person to hurt us again. And we want them to know that they hurt us bad. But that's not our responsibility. Remember what I said, you're cleaning your house. You can't clean their house. You can't. And for you to hold them in unforgiveness is holding you in bondage, not them. You're not making them feel bad about anything by not forgiving them. And again, it's not you just laying down and taking it or opening yourself up to be mistreated again. You can make it very clear, like, look, what you did was jacked, and I'm not going to have it again. Now, I forgive you, but don't pull that nonsense again if you want us to remain cool. That's okay. But harboring unforgiveness and resentment will eat you alive. And by the way, I'm not judging anyone. I know these things because I've done it. I've harbored resentment from people that treated me. I've told you guys about the first job. I'll give you a little bit more detail. I've told you guys about the first job where I started making 6 figures, right? Many years ago. And to be honest with you, the reason why that job was so hard is because I had more leadership experience than almost everybody who I was working for. At least applied leadership, and in legit situations where I'm either earning $1 billion or $100 million, or I'm fighting for people in a combat situation. Not like managing administration or, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm better or they're worse. What I'm saying is I came into the place with a certain level of high level management and leadership experience. And I was literally being treated as if slavery had just ended and they taught the young colored boy how to speak English. Like, are you effing kidding me is what I wanted to say every day. And I resented them for that. Guess who that held in bondage? Me, because they didn't give 2 flying foxtrots about how I felt about them. They went home every night fat and happy, with their salaries, which were probably double mine. And they didn't give 2 craps about the fact that they were treating someone who was arguably more qualified as a leader. And I didn't have some of the long-tiered experience as a worker as they had. So they had some experiences and some wisdom that I didn't have. But when it came to leading people, I had led men to hell and back. There's no, what do you do after that, right? So I resented them for disrespecting my abilities by basically treating me like I'd just fallen off the freaking turnip truck. Guess who that hurt? Me. They did not care. All right, so think about it. Ursula says, I tell people who say they have no faith to simply believe in my faith in them. If they have no faith in themselves, God gives us what we need, even if it is a message to lift others up. Yeah, one of my mentors used to tell me, I am going to love you until you learn how to love yourself. It's very similar. Samuel Hunter says self-awareness. Cool. All right, what do you guys say before we get into the S? We talk about the contents of our secret package, the Amazon Smile package. Doesn't look the same without the Amazon words over it. It's very clever packaging. Let's see. Oh man, why is my book dirty? I didn't buy this used. What's going on, Amazon? I collect, now granted, I usually mark my books up and write all in them, so I'm not really worried about the book not being pretty. But look at that. There it is. It's the secret book, y'all. Uh-oh, we got a comment. Anna's guess was, is S self-control? No, it actually isn't. I would probably put self-control under clean house and under trust God, believe it or not. But it is not self-control. It's a good guess, though. It's a really good guess. Ursula says, forgiveness is taking back your power and understanding that they did what they did to you with the emotional tools they had, no matter how hurtful those tools were. I also remove myself from them. Nigel says, hey, B, when is your birthday? Mine is tomorrow. Happy birthday. Mine was a couple weeks ago. So I like Ursula's comment here. The truth of the matter was the people that I was frustrated with were treating me the best that they knew how. Right? They had their own insecurities. They had their own hang-ups about who they were and what they were capable of doing. An old mentor of mine used to tell me people live at the level they're taught. So it was kind of wrong of me not to show them empathy. Like they were leading the best way that they knew how. They just were. And I needed to respect that. And at the time, I do now. Like I'm not still bitter or any of that. I got over it. And I forgave and I prayed that God would prosper them and bless them. Because he's blessed me in ways that I don't deserve. I'm certainly not special. He's no respecter of person, so he should bless them too. Okay? So, here's what the inside flap of the book says, the secret book. Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google are the 4 most influential companies on the planet. Just about everyone thinks they know how they got there. Just about everyone is wrong. I like that. He pulled a little Peter Drucker there. And, my friends, the secret book is The 4. The Hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google by Scott Galloway. All right, I am supremely excited Sorry, Facebook. I know this is going to show up backwards because Facebook is weird. YouTube, it's backwards on my screen, but I know it looks right. I'm watching the YouTube feed over here. I know it looks right on yours. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Bobby Charlton asks if I'm gay. I'm actually not gay. But thank you for asking. It's an interesting question to come on a live stream and ask. Are you gay? Maybe you're gay. Oh, I guess you're not asking me. You're calling me gay. Okay. It's kind of like calling me short. I'm not. So it's fair. But if that's what you think in your mind, so be it. Like I said, people live at the level they're taught. Coming on a live stream where life-changing information is changing hands, and let's see. Ursula guesses that S is simplify, and then she guesses is the S strategy. Nope and nope. But anyway, the 4. So the reason why I chose to buy Scott Galloway's book, how he actually broke down Apple on his call, and about how Apple basically became what they became in the minds of people. Where the thing that just baffles my brain is literally, let me put the camera down a little bit. Literally, people line up. They line up like days in advance to pay money for the new iPhone when it comes out. And in this case, wasn't the new iPhone like $1,000 or something crazy like that? Now, look, I like iPhones. I use them, but I'm not dropping a G. Like, I don't like them that much. I always get my iPhones for free because AT&T does some crazy deal when the new one's getting ready to drop. You just get the previous one, which is always good enough for what I'm doing. I don't need the cutting edge phone. I hate that they got rid of it. Apple, by the way, has the worst earbuds. They're the worst. The worst. Let's see. Luis Lopez says, I love you. Love you too, Luis. You smart. You loyal. I appreciate you. Word. Back at you, man. Appreciate that. All right, so definitely go check this out. This will be on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's BryantChambers Lives. And it's totally, the feed there is dedicated to the books that I'm reading. It's basically me chronicling my journey as a family-owned business to bring knowledge to people and the knowledge that I'm getting and passing it forward. All right, so people oftentimes are asking me, what are you reading? Check out my Instagram feed. I post some other things there which are related to the family-owned business. But for the most part, it is my place to talk about what I'm reading, what I'm digesting. So, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready, now that I've shared the magic book with you, to talk about the S in our secret formula of success? Ray says, on the third S, could it be start small, building your disciplines, or something similar? Nope, that's a good guess. Anna Anderson says, yes, beyond ready. And before we get into it, I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I don't know if everybody would, actually I can tell, I'm looking at the YouTube feed is on fire. So there's a lot more people here than when I started. I mentioned that our one-on-one coaching program is still open for registration. Alicia says simple. I like simple, but that's not it. That's a good guess. The one-on-one coaching program is still open for registration for January session. We're finishing up November into December session, finishes tomorrow. If you are on this call, I know Steven's here, and you're in the program, what I have for you tomorrow is literally, like, if you think this call was decent, like what I have tomorrow in the one-on-one coaching program is off the frickin' planet, life-changing. And I mean that with all my heart. Teaching you how to prioritize and execute, and then teaching you how to remove fear from your life. Okay, that's another huge pillar of what I do on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the places that I exist. One of the things I exist to do is remove the fear that's keeping you from what you're supposed to be doing, what you were created and called to do. All right, so tomorrow's call is going to be heavy. I'm praying I'm going to be able to get through it in 2 hours. Not for my sake, but for the sake of the people that are going to be listening, because it's heavy content. But it is going to fundamentally, everyone that's been going through the program so far has had these great epiphanies and this is really helping me understand who I am, what I'm meant to do, and what's been holding me back from doing it, or if I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but not to the degree that I should be. So it's been gladly, and I'm looking forward to when the members do their testimonials, sharing those with you guys, so you can see that we mean serious business. I take what I do with coaching, even here on these free calls, I take it very seriously. This is not a ploy or a gimmick to me. This is about getting information into your hands that you can use to change your life. All right, so if you're interested in that, definitely shoot me a message in the comments on Facebook or here on YouTube, and I will get you more information somewhere near the end of this call where you can actually sign up. In fact, let me check to see real quick if the links are live. Yeah, they are. So cool. When we get ready to do that, we'll be in good shape. Ursula says S is for your soapbox hat. I forgot that I was supposed to get a soapbox hat made. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Lids or whatever the hat store is today and get them to actually embroider a hat that says soapbox. And then just enjoy everybody asking me, why is this dude wearing a soapbox hat? Or my favorite is when I was wearing my original Washington Nationals hat, was the red, white, and blue one. And I had a dude come on and like, dude, why the F are you wearing an effing Walgreens hat? Are you the son of Mr. Walgreen? I was like, what? Anyway, let's get down to business. What does the S stand for in TCS? Talked about the T, right? Stands for trust. The C stands for clean. So trust God, clean house. And as Dino pointed out on Facebook, the reason why I've been ignoring his comment is because he got it right. It's serve others. Okay? And it's quite possibly the most important pillar when it comes to your success. Serve others. Some of the reasons why you all deal with so much disappointment and so much resentment and so much fear is because you were too focused on you. You get up every morning. Not that you're a bad person or a psychopath or overly selfish, but you are wired to be that way. And you're not doing enough to consider the other people around you. Because I have found on this earth, when I add value to someone else's life, it's really interesting how they're willing to do the same for me. And sometimes in greater measure. All right? So if you want to succeed, I can even make this a money point. If you want to make more money, do more things that help more people in a way that they're willing to pay for. You got to be good at what you do. Like my son wanted to mow lawns, I think it was last year or the year before, and I let him mow our lawn. He did a terrible job. I said, now listen, you mowed your own house lawn terribly because you were rushing and you wanted to hurry up and go play Minecraft. I said, you think someone's going to pay for you to do a crappy job? No. You want to make more money, do more to serve more people in a way that they're willing to pay for the service, right? So for example, when I build the products that I have, when I have my my marketing course, the Social Media Ninja Academy, people sign up for that and then they're surprised, like, wait a minute, you've got one video in here that's 5 hours long. Like, what is that? I'm like, it's value. Like, it's not just me babbling for 5 hours. It's covering topics that you need. And sometimes for some people, it's discouraging. Like, man, I don't have time to watch a 5-hour video. Okay, so put it on 2 times play speed, listen to it fast, and take breaks. Listen to 30 minutes a day. It'll take you 10 days to get through it. No big deal. No one said you had to listen to everything in one sitting. But we have so much content. I think we're over 60 hours of content in the program. And it's not like I'm just getting started. When I first started, it was YouTube. We've started the Facebook program. I'm doing the research for the Instagram piece now. I will probably eventually do a Snapchat when I'm not ready to do Snapchat because I don't feel like I've had enough experience there to really start coaching on it. But definitely on Facebook and YouTube, I've had a good deal of experience, especially with Facebook in such a short amount of time, being able to start getting a steady influx of followers and being able to put out content that gets 1,000 views here, 10,000 views there, or almost 1,000,000 views. And all of those that I'm talking about are organic. And then I have some that I run ads against, which interestingly enough, after several months, turned into people that bought programs from me. So I've got the experience there. I've got the track record. And even working with clients with paid content, I'm getting, in some cases, click-through rates that are over 20%, which is insane for a click-through rate for an ad. Okay, that means we're hitting the right audience and we're hitting them with something that they care about and that they want to consume. All right, so we're doing that there. Let's see. Maggie Mosby says the Walgreens hat is better. Excellent. So serve others is the point. Serve others. We talked about on a previous call, counting others is greater than yourself. It's an ancient proverb. It was written by the Apostle Paul in the Bible, actually. I don't remember which book he said that in. Maybe Corinthians or... it's not Ephesians or Galatians. I think it's one of the Corinthians. Anyway, I don't always get the addresses right, but I get the principles right. That's what matters. You've got to serve others if you ever want to have, I've worked with a lot of YouTube creators who are like, I just want to bring fun to people and I want to do the thing. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I think that's a noble motive. But what are you going to do that they really like that's going to make them want to consume that on a daily basis? Even with the content that I make some insanely valuable content that not a lot of people consume. A lot of you don't watch everything I produce. You watch the videos that you care about, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm not upset or bitter like they should watch everything, because everything isn't as important to you as it is to me, and that's the way it's supposed to be. All right, but when I make videos on the 25 cognitive functions, that's something you should like. I wish more people would watch that than the Myers-Briggs stuff, because it's more rooted in human observation that's been happening for thousands of years, not just 100. Like the Myers-Briggs stuff. And so, and granted, of course, Carl Jung's theories came from people who were much before his time. But that's interesting to knowing what the default settings, regardless of your personality type, we all have the same default settings in our brain, the way our brains work. And knowing those things is very, very, very important. Ursula says, which video has almost 1 million views? So it's not a video. It's actually a Facebook post that I did that was, it was an exercise that I took my page through, something to, every week I post like a brain teaser or a brain exercise that helps you get the cognitive juices flowing, because I believe that strengthens our minds. I went to the gym today and did arms. We work really hard to have six-pack abs, which I do not, six-pack abs, and giant arms, which I do, and giant chest, which I'm okay there. But how often do we spend time developing our brains, like giving our brains a workout? And so I post things that allow people to do that. I think one of them had 6,000 views. The most recent one I did about 3,000 views. And then I had one that's doing, right now it's getting ready to cross 700,000. I say 1 million, it's not at 1 million yet, but it will absolutely get to 1 million, because every day the pace picks up almost insanely. Let's see. Ever read Archetypes of the Collective Unconscious? I haven't. If that's a book, I haven't read it, but I have studied his take on archetypes, so I'm familiar with it. Ursula says, once I am in a position to help others at the capacity of my life's purpose, the current trials will no longer matter except to shape my character. Yeah. By the way, that's why you have trials. You pray and say, God, I'd like to have a farm that costs almost $2 million. He says, okay, cool. Deal with this. Because how are you going to have a $2 million farm if you can't deal with a little bit of stress, right? It's like if I have set my mind to change the thinking of the world, I have to first change my own. It's that simple. I have to first change my own. And that's where it starts. It starts by consuming content that's good, whether it's books or YouTube videos, whatever it is, whatever helps you do it. We got to do that. We have to do that. So let's review TCS, right? Trust God, clean house, serve others. Okay, it's very important that you get that right. And I'm telling you, like when the degree to which you apply that formula, you will see some level of success. And it'll come down to how well you apply the formula and how diligently you apply the formula. That's important that you're able to do that. Okay, so keep that in mind. You guys can go ahead and start getting your questions ready either for Facebook or thank you for the Facebook crew that's hung in. Thank you, YouTube. I think we've lost one viewer the whole time I've been here, so that's amazing. Thanks for being a part. Get your questions in. I can only talk briefly tonight because I actually have to go back to work. I've got to get some proposals and stuff out of the door for clients who want to hire me, but they're waiting on my proposals. So I got to get busy. I got to make that cheddar so I can make more videos for you all, buy more diapers for babies, and feed a child or two. But yeah, definitely take this formula to heart. Definitely, I haven't put an affiliate link in the description for the 4, but go get it. I haven't read it yet, but just listening to Scott talk, I know this is going to be legit. And I love hard copy books. I tear soft copy books apart because I'm heavy-handed. And like my backpack's not down here, but my backpack, I carry all the books I'm currently reading. And sometimes I think right now I have 8 books in there, and they're just all jumbled in my gym clothes. When I go to the gym, it's all in the same place. So hard copies keep me from destroying my books. So while I'm waiting for you all to post your questions, let me ask you one. Who here, by show of hands, you can hit a hand emoji or whatever your thing is, who here is interested in the one-on-one coaching program? I know I said I'd give you all an opportunity to get in it if you wanted to later. Now's that time. Who's interested? Just by a show, you can type whatever you want. Say, I'm interested, or I am, whatever you want to write is cool. And what are your questions regarding it so I can get that answer for you? I can talk about the benefits of the program, which at the end of the day is the primary focus of what I do, helping you take the leash off your neck and take control of your life. It's very important. All right, so Nigel put his hands up. Sweet. Nigel's in the building. He's ready for action. Who else is ready for action? Steven says, a lot of books to get. I tend to carry 1 to 2 books in my bag and some books on my tablet. Samuel Hunter gives the thumbs up. He's interested. Okay, we got 2 people. Now remember, there's only about 10 slots left out of all the people who have either already committed or given me a verbal commitment that they're going to get in, which I'm honoring. So I think it's somewhere between, I'm trying to remember, because I can actually name the people that signed up. So I think we're at 10 or 11 slots are open. So the faster you take action, Anna says, me, sweet, that's 3. So keep in mind, like if 10 people say they're interested and these 10 people join, that's going to kind of be a wrap for the January session. Now, will we have future sessions? Yes. But right now, I don't have any scheduled. I don't know what we're going to do for 2018 yet because I'm still putting the plan together. Alicia says, I am interested, but I am at a stage in my life that I could not put the commitment. That would not be respectful of your time. So let me ask you this, Alicia. When you say commitment, is it a time issue? Would you not be able to dedicate the time? Because the only thing you would have to commit to is actually being on the calls, but going through the material is really at your own pace, like reading the books, doing the practical exercises, even though there is a week of practical exercises that it's better if you do it before you come to the call because it helps you, but it's a self-paced thing. What is the challenge? I'd like to eliminate any, like if you're interested, I want to help you eliminate the challenges. So if it's a time issue, I think it may not be as heavy as you think. Let me know. Ursula says, me, and says, no questions. I filled you in with an email. Yep. Excellent. Let's see. So we got Nigel's going to get... So Kimberly says, me too. Nigel's in there. Samuel Hunter's in there. Anna says me. Ursula says me with no questions. Waiting for Alicia's answer to my question. Okay, cool. So if you are interested, and by the way, let me let me backpedal here for a second because I'm excited. You're excited. Let me give you, this is not some fly-by-night guru nonsense, okay? The stuff we're talking about, Alicia says, okay, thanks for the info. Just family stuff, but I could most likely work. And so basically the meetings are on Saturdays. Right now we've been flexing between about noon and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I make it on a Saturday so because I know people work and it's hard, and like on a Saturday most people can carve out 2 hours to have a conversation. And we're basically right now we have it set to be 3 p.m. because 3 p.m. gets us out of that. It's not 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to wake up early. And it's not like you want to go out and hang out with your friends Saturday night, or you want to spend time with your kids. Like, I'm just going to eat up 2 hours of the afternoon so that you can have a life, outside of doing the stuff. So it's basically 2 hours on the weekend, and then it's however many hours it takes you to complete the assignments. You have a whole week to do the assignments. And I tell people in the program, I do not expect you to be able to read as fast as me. So there's 1 week you have to read 3 books. I don't expect you to finish all 3. I just expect you to start and browse and just go through the book and pick out the nuggets that mean something to you. Because Ty Lopez says this best. He's like, reading books should be like having a relationship with a friend, right? And it's like it is. I go back like where is it? The Obstacle is the Way, the book over here on my fireplace. I read that book once a month. And I don't read the whole book. I read different parts of it, or I go back through highlights, or it's something I need to remind myself, like I'm going through this thing because it's making me deserve what I want out of life, right? So, let's see. Maggie says, Party Man says, just discovered your channel. Sweet. Welcome, Party Man. Maggie Mosby says, hey, BC, I feel like you won't have a solid answer on this, which is totally fine because most people wouldn't. But if you had to choose friends or family, I don't separate the two. I either consider you family or an acquaintance. There you go. Party Man says, thanks. You're most welcome here. So back to what I was saying with Alicia. It's 2 hours on a Saturday and then however much time you can sneak in during the week. So, for example, going from week 1 to week 2 is where you have the heaviest amount of homework. But it's taking personality tests and taking notes. It's stuff that you could spread out over a couple. Like the personality tests usually don't take more than 20 minutes. And you can print out your results. You actually don't have to take notes. You can just print it out and then put it in your book. I recommend everyone keep a 3-ring binder. You punch holes and put your stuff in there so that you have a book that you can go back to. Because it's not, by the way, when you talk about the benefits of the program, me helping you take control of your life and eliminate fear and understand how to prioritize and execute, how to be self-aware, which lays the foundation for all of the good decisions which are going to lead you to the success and the relationships and the career that you want. It doesn't end at 4 weeks. You get access to a private Facebook group that's just students, right? And as we grow, I don't plan to stop doing this program ever. I plan to evolve it and eventually have it where I can have people fly out and attend it personally, like in one-on-one in person, in groups. But that's down the road. It's going to be the Facebook group where you can, as you go through the 4 weeks of training, and then you go out to the world and apply it. And then you start to get results. But the Facebook group is there for your support to come back and say, okay, I'm applying principle number 8. But I'm running into this wall. What are you guys doing that's working for you? And I'm always monitoring Facebook. So when people are in my programs and they ask questions, I'm usually not necessarily the first person to answer always, but I answer. I say, well, you should think about this or think about that. So you get all of that access. And the Facebook group, I plan to shoot videos just for that Facebook group for people who have been through the program. Especially when they begin to ask questions. I'll sometimes answer with a video because then everybody can benefit from it. And as I go through things and experience things in life, there'll be videos that I want to make that aren't necessarily appropriate for the program because I want that to be focused on the website. But I can put it in the Facebook group and say, hey, here's something you want to think about today. Right. I'm also thinking about adding a VIP program down the road, similar to the one I have from my social media academy, where I meet once a month with everybody that can log in and just have chats similar to this, but you actually get to talk to me, not have to type it out. like in a Facebook feed. We can hear each other. You can talk and ask your questions. Let's see. Anna Anderson says, this is a lot to think about. Serving others comes naturally to me. I am the most developed in this area, but my efforts are constantly undermined by my failure to clean. Trust is my quagmire. Just marinating on the knowledge. Marinate. Do it. Okay, so for those of you who said you were interested, let's see how interested. But anyway, this is something where in my personal life, and so Dino's asked me what the price point is. And so in my personal life, I do coach people. Now, if I have a coaching client where I'm doing one-on-one coaching, this 8-hour program, and it's more than that because you do a lot of homework and a lot of practical assignments. That 8-hour program for a paying client would be 5 G's, okay? Because the amount of time I have to invest in a singular human being, I have to make it worth my time and match that to, and I don't charge like by the hour. I don't believe in that. I think that's some 1960s nonsense that America for some reason still does. I believe in the value. So I know that 8 hours of value have way more than $5,000 worth of knowledge. But for the online one, it's not $5,000 before I terrify anybody. Facebook, I've just posted a link where you can join. And as you're joining, I will see it happen here on the screen, and I'll congratulate you and welcome you to the program. You should immediately get an email from me that gives you access to the website. The lessons that I have been taking the crew through already, you will have access to that. So you can watch those ahead of time, and you'll know what's coming, and you can start to formulate, this is something I need to think about when I take you through it. And so my goal with the coaching is to record every session so that, like, let's say I'm doing this 10 years from now and someone buys it, they'll have 10 years worth of lessons they can sift through of all people's, like, there will not be a problem that anyone has that hasn't already been discussed. And that's the goal. It's kind of like Will Smith says, you should read because there's been millions and millions and millions and billions of people on earth. Like, there's no way you're having a problem that someone else hasn't already solved and probably written down in a book. And that's what I want this program to be, is you're not just going to get 8 hours with me in a Facebook group. You're going to get however long we run it. If you joined in this November session, you're going to get to watch January's session, right? You're going to get access to those things where you can constantly, it's almost like you get the program a couple times a month. So when new people come through it, you can see what they're saying. Oh, I have that problem too. And I didn't get to mention that in my walk through the program, but now I can apply what the group talked about, right? So it becomes this basically a perpetual learning system. And by the way, there is power in repetition, guys and ladies. There's power in it. When the first time I went to the weapons range as a soldier, I sucked. But after I did it over and over and over and over again, I got better. Now, I wasn't the best shooter on the planet, admittedly, but I did get better. And I got to the point where I was comfortable handling weapons because I trained on it so much. Okay. So going back to Dino's question, the price point, let's see if Facebook will, I'll send you a link if Facebook will allow it. It looks like it will. I'm going to send you guys on Facebook a link so you can look at it. And so that way I don't have to, this will answer a lot of those kind of administrative questions. And what the heck? And you may not be the only one that has the question, so it'll be helpful. But so the simple answer to your question is the price point is 10 times less than what I would charge a client on the street. Why is this being difficult? Okay. .com/coaching. Oh, come on. Autocorrect. You know what I'm trying to do. Okay. So for Dino and Alicia, here's the link on Facebook. Let me know if you guys see that in the comments, because I'm doing all of that from my phone. YouTube's a little bit easier. I'm doing it here. Tyler Durden says, how can you overcome your fears? I have bad social anxiety. You will overcome your fears when you realize that life is not all about you. People who are overly fearful are spending too much time self-focused, which, by the way, the last lesson I'm coaching on in the one-on-one coaching program tomorrow is how do you conquer fear. We're going to go into great detail about that. But that's the gist of it. It's also the same way you conquer anxiety, the same way you conquer selfishness, resentment. It's about making life about everyone else. Okay. So, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also checking my email real quick while you guys are sending me comments and questions, just to make sure I'm not missing anything from clients. Let's see. No, looks like we're... Okay, no, we are up to date. This is a good night. This is a good night, man. Okay, any more questions? Facebook, YouTube? If not, I'm going to go back to work. Unfortunately, I wish I could go to sleep, but I'm working with a client that's also a friend of mine to put together a proposal for a program that I very much believe in and want to win. Like, one of my favorite things about running my own business is I get to choose who I work with. And this is a person who just gets it and is contributing to the world that I come from, being combat veterans and combat veteran caregivers, and contributing to them in such a powerful way that it means a lot to me. And, you know, it's something that I can't wait to get started on the project, not because of making money. Like, I told her when we had our first meeting, I was like, this isn't even about money for me. I just want you to win because I think you deserve to. Like, I was like, I would do this for free. She's like, yeah, but you don't have to. I was like, well, that's nice. I'm glad I don't have to do it for free, but it's that type of project. Rarely do I meet clients where, like, I'm willing to drop my rate. And there's been her, and she's a friend of mine, so I'm going to help her in some way, shape, or form, money or none, because I believe in her. And she and her husband are friends with me and my wife, and it's something that I wholeheartedly believe in that should be happening. You know, and I had one other client that I even offered to drop my rate. I was like, I believe in your business so much that I'm willing to take a pay cut, because I know once I help you blow it up, you'll be able to pay me 10 times more. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'll wait until I have the money. I was like, okay. Ursula says, thank you for your time, B. Anybody else? I know it's late, so, you know, the juices are probably not, the neurons probably aren't firing as fast as they normally do. It's cool. Alicia or Dino, if you have any other questions, please let me know on Facebook before we get ready to shut down. Matter of fact, let me check to make sure my phone is still charging. It's good there. YouTube still kicking. Excelente. Well, okay, so few more notes before we close out tonight. I'm going to switch gears from the coaching back to what I started the call with. New Facebook Watch channel will be going up, I hope, to launch. Dino says, I'd be interested in a summer course. Excellent. So, Dino, definitely click, if you haven't already, click the sign up button on my Facebook page, and that'll get you on my mailing list. Don't worry, I hate spam more than everybody else because I am a marketer and I see all that crap. All right, I'm not going to spam you, but I'll send you messages when I'm launching new courses, and then you can just get in when you're ready. I'd love to have you. Very glad to have you whenever you want to be a part. Maggie says, I like your shirt. It represents you well. Yeah. Stop whining and start doing. America and Grunt Style. My boys at Grunt Style. Dina says, I work full time and also attend college. Yep, I remember. I know you're a hustler, man. So the Facebook Watch channel going live, I hope to get that off the ground in the beginning of next year. Not really going to mess with it in 2017. I have way too many other irons in the fire because that's going to be a daily show and that's going to take a lot of my time. But it'll be the Daily Bravo will be coming back. Some of you have been asking me, I wish you'd bring that back. I enjoy it. I'm one of the 113 people that actually watched it. I wish you'd bring it back. And I was like, well, I haven't got rid of it. I just have been focusing on other things that were more pressing for me to get done. So Facebook Watch, definitely get on my podcast if you have not already. My podcast is legit, y'all. First podcast I did was it was one of my horrific stories from combat. The title of that show is called Bloodstains. It's on iTunes, Google+. It's also on Anchor, which is a dope app you should totally download and follow me on if you haven't already. It's the easiest freaking podcast app to use. Like, I know a lot of people love Apple, and I hate iTunes. I don't mind using their app to listen to like Gary Vee and stuff, but Anchor is just so much easier. But anyway, podcast, definitely get at that. The Bryant Chambers Movement podcast, or the Bryant Chambers Movement show. Second episode was called Leadership. It's a real good one. I had a title for the one I'm doing this weekend, and then I forgot it. I got to go back and listen to the heavy metal band that I was listening to while I was working out on whatever day it was that I was working out. I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday. I need to go back and listen to it so I can remember what I was going to talk about, because I got the idea from the band I was listening to while lifting. Dino says, thank you for all your help. The Greenbelt program is great too. Sweet, Dino. Glad to hear it, my man. So podcast, Facebook watch. If you're not following me everywhere else I exist, Instagram especially, I'm about to start going real hard on Instagram. In fact, I just took the shot. I'm way late tonight on my Instagram post, but I am going to make it about another book that you should totally be reading. My mentor Joe put me onto this one. It's powerful. So on Instagram tonight, that book will be going live. It's BryantChambers Lives. It's the title of my Instagram page. You can get at me on Snapchat. I'm kind of sometimes there right now. I just do entertainment. Like, I do freestyle raps with my youngest son. Or I do freestyle rap battles with my cousin, which I don't post because half the time they're vulgar and ridiculous. And the world doesn't need to see all that. Maybe I should release some of them. But they're not so much vulgar as they're just, oh, my chair, I'm falling, help. They're not so much vulgar as they are just absurd. And people would probably get the message like, wait a minute, isn't this the life coach guy? What is he doing? So yeah. Party Man says, I have a hard time getting motivated to do something I don't like, so go do things you do like. What's the name of the book you just mentioned? The book I just mentioned, I didn't mention. You gotta check out my Instagram. That's where you're gonna see it, man. And then the book that I talked about tonight, The Secret Reveal, was called The Four, which I saw somebody typed in the comments there. Let's see. Jeff says, awesome, thanks. What do we type in for Google Play? You should just be able to search my name. So Ursula says, what do I type? So it should just be my name, Bryant Chambers. I have all Apple devices now. Otherwise, I could double check it. So I don't use Google Play. But I have been on Google Play on the website, like online, and it's there. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Either search my name, Bryant Chambers, or search Bryant Chambers Movement, and hopefully it'll come up. And if not, Ursula, if you do have a smartphone, just download the app Anchor and follow the Bryant Chambers Movement there, and it'll be all good. That app's really cool, by the way. I really like it. The only thing I don't like about Anchor is it doesn't allow me to write titles as long as I would like to. All right, let's see. Andrew Tyler says, when do you usually stream? Would love to hop on more in the future. And thank you for getting on here and speaking with us. Got a lot out of it. So at present, I have not set a legit show schedule. When you have as many children as I do of various ages, stuff changes all the time. So I'm always having to move my schedule around for baby showers, and my wife has to go to tea in 4 or 5 hours. So I've got to work and then get 3 hours of sleep and then be back up to have all 4 of my children yell in my face for 7 hours or 8 hours. And then I have a business meeting tomorrow afternoon. Like, I don't know when I'm going to sleep this weekend. But that's what happens when it's like I was joking with my friend. I told you guys today, like, I wish I was the dude that could just be on the softball team and be happy, not trying to change the world. Sometimes I wish I was that guy. Because being this guy is... Whew! Ray says, hey, BC, is the Good Life Playbook Marriage Experience Program still active? I signed up a couple days ago and have been waiting to... Whoa. No, it's not active. So let me be real clear about what you mean by signed up, because you shouldn't have been able to sign up Do you just mean you tried to join the Facebook group, or did you actually pay money? Because nobody should be able to pay money because we've taken it down. And if you did pay money, I will refund it. Please let me know. Ursula says, Anchor, we'll check it out. Sweet. Yeah, so Ray, if you spent money to be in the marriage program, you shouldn't have been able to because I took it down. So you are a ninja. My wife and I talked about the marriage program, felt we weren't ready to launch that the way we wanted to. And we internally talked that when we do launch it, we want it to be more focused. It's too general. Like we're going to focus on a very small niche. And we probably won't launch the marriage program again until 2019. That's the current strategy. Right now, we are 100% focused on client services. That's our big breadwinner, and what we spend the most of our time doing. And then just business, not obviously family stuff, but client services. And then it's the products. So it's the Social Media Ninja Academy and my one-on-one coaching program that we just launched, and that's it. Like that's the focus for 2018 is growing that and doing more public speaking engagements. Like I got invited to go out to Portland to speak to, I did not know there is a Christian game developers conference. Like you've heard of GDC if you're a gamer, there's a Christian one. And I got tentatively invited to go speak in Portland at that next year in August. So I'm looking to do way more public speaking gigs like that where I can get out there, reach more people, and change more lives. But the marriage program, we just felt we had too much on our plate to sustain that the way we wanted to. And it wasn't that we couldn't sustain it, it's that we didn't get the traction. Like people weren't joining. And it was because we marketed it very poorly. But the thing about business you got to understand is you always have to launch before you're ready. Like you got to test the waters and see what happens. So we tested it, didn't work the way we wanted it to. We gave people what we promised, which was monthly content. But then we let everyone know, hey, we're going to temporarily shut this down. And if we relaunch it, everyone that joined and paid money, the monthly fee, would be allowed in for free. That was kind of our parting gift. But the Good Life Playbook, I would recommend to you if you want, like everything I'm coaching in the one-on-one coaching program will help you leaps and bounds with preparing for marriage. I mean that. And we give a money back guarantee to guarantee it. So if you go through the program and then after a month of going through the program, so basically 2 months, it's 4 weeks, and then a month later, if you're like, I'm applying it, but I'm not seeing results, then give us a holler. Maggie says, random question, do you like hiking? Sure. Ray says, oops, yeah, I did. I used a link from one of your older vids, can't remember which one, which ClickFunneled me to the payment page and then got, you should not have been able to do that. All right, I'll send me an email, respond to the email that you got, and just say, hey, this is Ray, so I can find you in the system and refund your money. You shouldn't have had to pay for that. But I'll get you a refund. I'll do that tonight before I go to sleep, assuming you send me the email. It'll hit your bank account in 3 business days. Let's see. Maggie says, okay, BC, I'll see you in the next live stream. Sweet. Looking forward to it. Thanks for the talk as always. It's my pleasure, Maggie. Going back to the question about when do I stream, hopefully in 2018 I'll be able to map out a better schedule. Right now, between some of my client services, especially the one that eats up the most of my time, I'm actually working to do business development to get out from under that client because it eats up way too much of my time and the return on investment just isn't good for the amount of time I have to spend. So we're working to replace that client and then grow the business so we can start actually building our staff up and helping them start to achieve their dreams. So, okay. Any other questions? Facebook's been a pleasure. God bless every one of you. I love you. We'll see you soon. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shut down on Facebook. YouTube, last call, and then I got to go back to work. Go ahead and post that. What is this? No, keep it. What's wrong with you? Facebook trips sometimes. Oop, got a new like. All right, so it appears that there are no more questions. Congratulations to any of you. So, Ray, here's what I recommend. if indeed you want to get some legit coaching from us, you can come into the one-on-one coaching program for January and just make because one of the worksheets you have to fill out before the sessions start is, what are your goals? What do you actually want to get out of this? And just write down, like, I want to talk about marriage and relationships and that experience. And we can totally, in the one-on-one coaching program, because I'm actually talking with you and looking at your personality and your how you're testing and how you're filling out your expectations and your personal information, and I can tailor what I'm saying to you very specifically. So that's what I would look at. And I can do it one of two ways. If you want to get in the one-on-one coaching program, you can do that, and then I will refund $20 out of that so that you'll pay less, and then that'll take care of it in one fell swoop. Or I can just refund the other 20. I can do it either way. So, a matter of fact, here's how I'll do it, because my mistake should not have cost you any money. You get in the one-on-one coaching program, I'll take $50 off. So if you join tonight, here's how we're going to do it. Give you extra benefit because you paid money and you shouldn't have. If you join the one-on-one coaching program tonight, I will refund you $50 instead of $20 for your inconvenience. Sweet. Jeff Silva says, thanks for the live stream. Have a good night. You too, Jeff. You too. And so just in case, Ray, you came late, I'm going to post a link so you can see what I'm talking about. And you, by the way, you don't have to do it. It's just me trying to add value if you're interested. But I can guarantee you what we're coaching in there is going to help you with relationships tremendously. 100%. In fact, I'd argue that what I'm teaching in the one-on-one coaching program is way better than what I did in the marriage program. But a lot of what I built the one-on-one coaching program around is things I've learned with many other coaching programs. So I've applied the knowledge. Let's see. All right. No more questions. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all for watching. Remind you that if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, then your life is incomplete. You need to get that square. Shane says, later, Bryant, be safe, everyone. If you haven't followed me over on Instagram yet, definitely do that. If you're not following me on Facebook, by the way, that's got to happen because that's the best place for you to get in touch with me. So definitely get at me on Facebook. You're interested in the one-on-one coaching program, get on board now, because once it hits 15 slots, the January session is going to close, and you'll have to wait until we open up a new one, which I don't know when that will be yet, because my wife and I are still scheduling out 2018, and I have a business meeting with a very successful businessman who I did a coaching session for, public speaking gig where I coached him and a bunch of other people, and he was like, yeah, dude, he wants to meet with me and my business partner to go over some stuff, so my 2018 may be getting more busy than I had already anticipated. So definitely don't drag your feet. Successful people take action. And listen, if you have issues with you're not sure if it'll work for you, it's real simple. You get in, you go through the whole program, and then after a month after the program, you've been doing it, and it's just not coming together for you. You just ring the bell, say, hey, this isn't really my gig, man. Can you hook me back up? I'll hook you back up. So there's no risk involved for you of losing anything, because if it's either going to work really, really well for you, which it has been for the people we have so far, or it's not going to be your thing, and we'll just push you the money back and call it a day. Anna says, thank you. Really appreciate your time. And listen, I really appreciate y'all's time, right? Y'all's time too, not just mine. Let's see. Excuse me. Ray says, thanks so much, B. I don't think I'll be able to join tonight, though, but I'm interested in one of your future coaching sessions for this program. So in the meantime, I'll send you that email tomorrow. Awesome, man. Cool. And then, yeah, as soon as you get me that, I'll go find your account wherever it is. It should still allow me this late in the game to refund you. If not, I'll PayPal it to you. One way or the other, I'll get you your $20 back. Cool. Anyway, friends, remember, as always, we are stronger than I. I love you much, and I'll see you tomorrow.